Hello and welcome back to Rise of Flight. My name is Sven van der Plank and today we're going to be taking our German pilot Otto Spiegler up into the air for the second time. So let's have a look at his diary entry here. 9th of August 1915. My instructor wasn't lying when he said he would get me an Eindecker posting. I've been dispatched to Fliegertruppe 62, a Prussian unit based outside Douai. Normally I would have preferred to remain with the Bavarian detachment, but FFA 62 is also home to the famous Max Immelmann. They say he is the first man to score a victory in an Eindecker. It's also the only unit to have more than one Eindecker at its disposal. Already I've learned new piloting techniques that those at my flying school were unaware of. Hopefully today I'll get the first chance to practice them for the first time. Scroll down a bit. Reconnaissance of hostile aerodromes has shown a nearby British squadron has had a new Vickers scout added to their inventory, and Lille to the north has recorded an increase in air activity. Command won't let us take our Eindeckers across the lines, so for now we're limited to defensive patrols along our side of the trenches. Okay, so we are based at this aerodrome just here outside Douai. Me and Max are going to be going up into the air today, though we're going in separate directions. He's going to go to the south, I'm going to patrol to the north. I've heard there's air activity over Lille, so I'm going to go and investigate that. So let's get started. Okay, here we are in our aircraft then. This is the Fokker E.II. You'll see it's the actual Fokker now. We have the proper rudder. Over to my left I can see Max. He's going to be taking off shortly. Let's get after him as well. Go full mix. Now, this is the Fokker E.II. I'll wait for him to leave and then we'll get started ourselves. Up in the air there, above Douai, I can see a German balloon aerostrat. Come on, aircraft. You know you want to. Here we go. Quickly adjust our mixture. Peak RPM. There we go. Pick up some speed here. And the aircraft should take off by itself. Alright, that's going to be the last we see of Max in this mission. He's off to go and do something else to the south. We have our own mission to the north. Around. Okay, heading vaguely the right direction now. Level out. Goodbye folks on the ground. Be back there later. And we're heading north, so we want to continue to head this direction and gain some altitude. Take my feet off the rudder here. Just check it's straight. More or less, yep. So I can relax a bit as we fly over there and I can talk more about this aircraft. So this is the Fokker E.II. I don't think the E.III existed yet, or if it did, it certainly wasn't in service. I don't think it popped up until late September. Maybe a little earlier, so maybe early September. But the E.II functionally was pretty much identical to the E.III. So, just like the Pfalz, the E.1 Fokker and Pfalz used the smaller engine, whereas from the E.II onwards they had the more powerful 100 horsepower engine that we have in this particular aircraft. And in terms of wings as well, the early E.IIs had the same smaller wings of the E.1s, which were slightly higher mounted on the airframe. We seem to be swaying an awful lot. Let's go back this direction. Oh, rudder, okay. Yeah, it's fine. The later E.IIs had the larger wings that we see here, and that they would carry forwards into the E.III. So the main difference between the E.II and the E.III was the fuel tank. So the E.II had a 90 litre fuel tank, which gave it a decent endurance, but the E.III had a 120 litre fuel tank, but also a kind of reserve, a gravity tank of an extra 30 litres as well. Now if I look down here next to my, let's pull up actually, we're not seem to be gaining any altitude. Under my altimeter I have this handle there, it's actually a pump, and it is for pumping fuel from the fuel tank behind us here to the engine at the front of the aircraft. And the pilot would have to do that every 10 minutes or so, which conveniently for us is not a feature we have to worry about. It would be a nice little detail if it was. I don't believe any other aircraft in the game have to deal with a similar issue. Now there are several things I mentioned in the diary which kind of tie into various bits of readings I've done. So first of all, the air units of the Fliegertruppe in World War I were or belonged to the different kingdoms of the German Empire. So the vast majority of them would have been Prussian, around about 20% of them would have been Bavarian, and then the final 5% would have been made up by various other kingdoms as well, I think. Smaller kingdoms, but like I said, most were Prussian, and there probably would have been a little bit of rivalry between the different nations. Friendly rivalry, let's say. Now, at this point in the war, there was only 50 9-deckers on frontline service, and they would all dispatch to the front lines as just single units for different squadrons, who would have continued to use all their old aircraft for their main duties, reconnaissance and artillery spotting, with the Eindeckers used as kind of patrol, defensive patrol against enemy, recon, and also for escort for those, or for their own recon planes. But like I said, most research seems to agree that at this stage of the war, nobody had more than one. However, I was reading a report on Max Immelmann's first aerial victory, and it claimed that both he and Oswald Bolt were in the air together, presumably flying two separate Eindeckers, and Oswald Bolt had to, unfortunately, drop out of the combat. He either ran out of ammo, or his gun jammed, or he had a fuel leak or something like that. But Max Immelmann was able to continue to fight. Now that strongly suggests to me that they're both in Eindeckers, and it's entirely possible they already had a reputation, or at least Max Immelmann did. Oswald Bolt hadn't scored his first Eindecker victory yet. He had won as a pilot for a two-seater, but had not got any as a single-seater pilot yet. He would score his first on the 19th of August, I think. Going back to the Prussian-Bavarian side of things, Kurt Wingens, who scored the first victories, he had 3 victories by this point. He was in a Bavarian unit at the far end of the Western Front, way down near Switzerland. Am I heading in the right direction? I think so. So we're at the opposite side of that. You can probably see the English Channel, not too far beyond that kind of mist over there. I've noticed as well, it's kind of deceptive how quickly you gain altitude. When you're on the ground, 100 meters is like significantly high in the air, but when you're at 1,000 meters already, 1,100, the difference between those two things is pretty much nothing. So it feels like you're barely gaining at all. And that is partially true. You do kind of slow your descent the higher you go, but I think it's mostly a matter of perspective. Looking for Lille in the distance. I wonder if that's it. I think it is way over there. Continuing to climb. So yeah, I believe that FFA 62 had 2 Eindeckers, probably the only unit that did at this point. By the end of September, it'd be 5 times as many, about 75 Eindeckers on the frontline service. And that really was the start of the Fokker Scourge, where all the Allied pilots were just terrified to go up alone. They needed to fly in formation, and they had all sorts of silly rules, like if even one aircraft leaves your formation, you all have to return, just abort the mission. They were that scared of the Eindeckers, even though there was hardly any of them. In terms of military losses, the impact was rather negligible, but it was a morale thing. In terms of effectiveness of their recon, had a huge impact. I thought I heard another engine there. I hope not. We shouldn't be coming across anyone yet. There is somebody over here. That's where we're heading to. I mentioned in my diary entry that we think they've got a new Vickers Scout, and that ties into something I was reading about as well. Something significant happened on this day 104 years earlier. The prototype Airco DH2 that we were flying last time out on the British side, it was shot down over enemy territory, I think by an Eindecker, but I couldn't find any evidence to support that one way or the other. I can't find a pilot's name attached to it or a unit either, which makes me think whoever shot him down wasn't an ace, or wouldn't go on to become an ace either, otherwise there'd be more records there of people looking into it. So I'm going to say it was Otto Spiegler. I'm going to continue to climb here, 1500 meters. Where's low? I think it's directly ahead of us. Yeah, right, then we'll go in the right direction. So this aircraft, when it crashed, it was pretty much intact. So the Germans could have taken it apart and learned everything there was to know about it months before it even hit the front lines. But I don't think they recognised just how lucky they had been, and they didn't do any of that. So the British got quite lucky there, because it did go into service, and most Germans were just unaware of it, didn't know what it was, and continually misidentified it as a Vickers Scout. And there was a similar case for the FE2, would routinely be misidentified as a Bristol. Where is Lil? I think that's it there. Yeah, that is it, just corner there. Go slightly to the left here, just so I can get a view on the city as I approach, and maybe even spot an enemy aircraft. It's far too far away to do that at this point. Where's Due? Is that still in sight? Yeah, it is, way back there on the left hand side of the screen. We're about halfway between the two. No, I'm definitely closer to Lil. Probably about 2/3 of the way. Maybe not. Lil's much bigger, so it appears closer. I'm only at 1800. Let's climb a little bit more. About 2000 should be enough. I don't want to be too high that when I see the aircraft I can't even dive on it without blowing up my engine. Let's also adjust our RPM a little bit here. There we go. Got plenty of fuel. Over 50 litres. Meters now. Still don't know what this tube thing is that's freaking out. It's tied to the engine, because when my engine's off it doesn't do anything, even when I'm in flight. So far in Rise of Flight, we've done a basic takeoff and landing. We've done some more advanced maneuvers in the form of spins and spin recovery. We then did some navigation in the next level, in the next mission. Then we did a brief recon flight. First time good crossing the lines as well on that one. And then last time out we engaged some stationary ground targets. This time the hardest challenge, for me at least, taking on an air unit, which I'm sure the more experienced pilots can make look easy, but I know for me This is not going to be pretty. It's going to be pretty ugly. Some interesting landscaping going on down there in Lille. There's like a 10-pointed star, and I wonder what it is in real life, because it clearly wasn't accidental. There must be something. See it just there off the side of my nose. This is the biggest city we've seen yet in Rise of Flight, by quite a significant margin. And for the aircraft, I think I'm looking too close to the ground. I think it's likely to be higher. Don't see anything yet. My altitude is 2100. Up here? I don't think so. I think he's going to be lower. He might even be underneath us, following us already. We will see. Alright, the city is so big, it's deceptive how far away it still is. $2,200 meters now. I don't want to go any higher. Now, I think in the briefing I mentioned some more advanced maneuvers. That was going to be the Immelmann turn, which I may attempt to demonstrate. It's similar to how we entered the spin. It's also different to a modern day Immelmann turn as well. I don't think a World War I, or certainly a non-9-decker, could perform that kind of maneuver. Which is basically you just invert yourself and then with your elevators and then roll back rightwise. But in World War I it was quite different. You pulled up into a stall, then hard rudder in one direction or the other, pull or roll into that rudder, and then cancel out both, pull up, essentially doing a 180-degree turn. Don't know whether Immelmann had quite developed the technique himself yet, but it's doable, so we will maybe attempt one or two. You need to be careful not to blow your engine, because you'll go from complete stationary to very high speed as you go into a dive. It's good for getting on someone's tail after you've done like a pass, a head-on pass. But if they kind of pull into a tight loop behind you, then it's not really going to work. Looking for aircraft. Let's go into a steep bank here, see what we can see. Oh, we're not nearly as far over the city as I thought we were. Okay. I guess we'll do a left bank in a second. Wait, what's that? Oh, it's a bridge, I think. Yeah. Couldn't see him. I was trying to check beneath us there, because he could be stalking us from below. Can't really look over the edges. Maybe if I was in VR. Good. As well as keeping my eyes open, I need to keep my ears open as well, listening for his engine. I think I heard him just there. In fact, I'm almost certain I do. I think he's slowly been climbing up beneath us here. I think we need to get some distance. In fact, we could attempt an in-woman turn and point our nose right at the ground. But we'll probably lose our height advantage if I do that. Let's get ready for one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is pull up here, then go hard rudder when I hit the stall, lean into it, and then invite myself right, approaching the stall, hard rudder, lean in as well, invert myself, cancel out. Do not over rev, break your engine. I know this aircraft is around here somewhere. We just need to find him. Let's try another turn to invert ourselves. Here we go. Pull up, into a stall. Left rudder, lean in, invert myself, control my engine speed. I definitely heard this engine at one point. How many times has he been on screen already, I wonder? I just haven't spotted him. I've lost 500 meters now, so kind of getting annoyed I can't find him. Especially since I keep hearing just like clips of his engine note. He should be around about this altitude, but I don't see him. I just see every single speck of dirt on my screen, but no sign of a plane. Wait! There he is! Okay, we have him. We have lost our height advantage, typical, but we're going to have to, first of all, stop slouching, get him into our gun sight. Okay, here we go. You should never ever do what I'm about to do, a head-on pass, because you will just crash into each other. I need to get the first shots on here. I think he's actually turned away from us. That's good, we can get on his tail. Let's save our ammo. It's fairly wasteful firing at that distance. Okay, he's seen us. I don't want to follow him down, that's where his aircraft's going to be better than mine. Larger wings, well, more wings. Oh, there he is, okay, I got him now. I don't think I should be trying to turn with him. Maybe I'm not being aggressive enough in the turn, but I don't want to rip my wings off. There he is. Let's try roll over onto him. Where is he? There he is. Oh, not quite. Kind of forcing him to lose altitude here. We're not really getting on his tail. Okay, here's an opportunity. Damn, I know too much speed there, I couldn't get my nose down. Wings were producing too much lift. Try roll the other way. Damn, too tight on the turn there. Oof, almost got him. Okay. Oh, this is not good. Okay, here we go, here we go. Oh. Where is he? There he is. Oh, don't need a mid-air collision here. Oh, let's get my nose down, I'm about to stall. That's the ground. I've lost sight of him. He's above me now. I'm not using... Is he on my tail now? Getting a little flustered here. I'm not using the advantages of my aircraft here at all. Completely lost him. There he is. Oh, trees, trees, trees. Let's not roll. I have no energy left. We're down at ground level. This thing doesn't climb, it doesn't roll. Can't see him. Oh, there he is. Get the nose up, get the nose up. Ah. Damn, I had an opportunity to get on his tail there. I did not. Oh, that's the wrong rudder. I'm not using my rudder naturally. And here's the floor. Let's not hit that. Oh my god, this is difficult. I seem to be stuck in a perpetual cycle here. No, this is not it. I can see his shadow, but not him. There he is. I'm getting more shots in than he is now. This is what happens when two complete novice pilots go up against each other. Just endless circling. Nobody knows how to end the fight. Oh, I'm gonna go into a stall. Yep. I tried to pull my nose up and around, but it just was not happening. Is he smoking? I think he might be. Oh. Come on. My hand is shaking now. Ah, overcompensated. Come on, come on, come on. I'm so close. We are dangerously close to each other now. And that's why we're dangerously close. I think he just got shut down. And I think I'm going to have to land here. Oh, this is a hill. Spin around. Can we see him? I think in the most ridiculous fashion possible, I just brought him down. I lost my propeller in the process, but look at that, my wings are all in one piece. Looks like I took a couple of hits here. And I've got like a water or something on my screen. Well, it's not on my screen, it's in game. Oh, wicked. Not how I wanted to win that fight. Can I see him over there? Not quite. I might need to go and look for him in like the replay or something. But I don't want to say successfully brought down. But let's call it a day there. This mission definitely went on long enough. Alright, thanks very much for watching. I'll be back in a couple of months. I'm going to take a break now. This has gone on long enough. Yeah, I'm in the middle of moving flats. So I'm recording a couple episodes now, posting now. And then I'll be back September time, I think, for the next kind of block of missions that I'll be doing. Okay, thanks very much for watching.